Deer doesn't pay full price. Will you please make something vegetarian that is fancier than a bowl of pasta or a salad? I'm so sick of these. Please help. P.S. I'm also going to hit the like button no matter what because I really care about you and I know how much it helps your channel. Thank you. Sincerely, nobody. My phone is not even on. But I'm going to do it anyways, and I have the perfect recipe in mind. It involves one of my favorite things, which is jackfruit. And no, it's not barbecue jackfruit or jackfruit tacos, because that's been done like a million times and it wasn't great the first time. But this will be. Even if you're not vegetarian, I guarantee you this is going to be in your rotation, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to put all the ingredients you're going to need for these jackfruit cakes right here, so you can pause it, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. There's also going to be a full recipe in the description below, so you can check that, whatever's easier for you to come back to. Let's start cooking. Go ahead and crack yourself open a can of young green jackfruit. Make sure you're not using ripe jackfruit for this. The end product will be very, very different, not good. Young green jackfruit is typically packaged in brine, so we're going to go ahead and rinse that off, and then just set it aside to drain for a few minutes. We're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees while we chop up some veggies. I'm going to start with onion. I ended up not using all of this. I only used about a quarter of an onion, but make sure it's chopped nice and fine, along with half of a poblano pepper, and then 1 clove of garlic. And we're going to preheat a pan over medium heat. Add about a teaspoon of oil, and then we're going to dump in all of our veggies along with a hefty pinch of salt. Saute this for about 2 to 4 minutes until the veggies are nice and tender and they've released a little bit of moisture. Then we're going to move it to a mixing bowl and we're going to let it cool for just a few minutes while we process our jackfruit. You could shred this by hand, but I just don't have the time. Alright, I do have the time, I just still don't want to do it. Just give it a couple pulses in the food processor and gaze at the uncanny resemblance to shredded crab meat. Add that to your vegetables and give it the old Sir Mix-a-Lot till it's all nice and combined. Then we're going to add in a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. You could use veganaise if you want to keep this vegan. And then about 2 to 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, just enough to hold it together. Lastly, add about a tablespoon of your favorite Cajun seasoning. You can use Old Bay. I'm using Red Lobster seasoning that I found at the dollar store. No big deal. Give it one last Sir Mix-a-Lot until everything's combined. And then on a small plate, layer a heavy dusting of breadcrumbs so we can start forming what can only be described as hockey pucks of not crab. Grab yourself 6 to 8 ounces or a lacrosse ball sized portion of your jackfruit mix and gently pat it into a disc about a 1/2 inch thick. This should barely hold itself together, so very gingerly coat both sides in breadcrumbs. And voila, the perfect jackfruit cake. This recipe makes about 6, so once you're done, set them all aside. But before we cook, one cannot have a faux crab cake without some kind of sauce. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of basil to a food processor, along with a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, or you could keep using veganaise, 1/2 of a lemon juiced. And yes, this is the same recipe from our artichoke chicken sandwich video. If you've been with us from the beginning, then you know that. If not, check it out, links in the description. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of sugar. Blend it for about 30 seconds until it is nice and smooth and creamy. To cook these, get yourself a pan that can safely journey into the oven and back. I like using cast iron, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, swirl it all around until it's nice and coated, and add 2 of our jackfruit cakes. And clearly I'm on my countertop. No, I don't have some kind of fancy cooking countertop, so I'm going to move this to the stove, where I'm going to saute it for 3 to 5 minutes on the first side until it is perfectly golden brown, and I mean perfectly golden brown. Then once we flip them over, we're going to put it into our preheated oven for about 10 minutes just to warm the rest of the way through, and we can start plating. On your fanciest plate, add a nice pool of your lemon basil sauce, and then once your jackfruit cakes are done, I think 2 are the perfect portion for 1 person, or the perfect appetizer if you're splitting it with somebody. Set them on there. I like to top it with a little bit of arugula and just the most delicate squeeze of lemon. And voila. If you're ready to take your vegetarian dinner to the next level, you don't want to do another stir fry, you don't want to do another pasta, this is gonna blow some minds. This is like that vegetarian date night kind of stuff. And honestly, if you didn't tell someone that this was jackfruit, they probably would have no idea. It's that good, and it only cost this much to make. So way cheaper than crab cakes. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. It doesn't pay full price. I like to interact with everyone. I post a lot of fun food pictures there, and I'll see you next time. Where I like to interact with people. I post a lot of fun poo.